Hello and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today. And first of all, I must apologise if you can hear drilling in the background. For some reason, there is some major building works going on in front of where my house is, and we've had this for quite a while, and it's just keeps going on. So I apologise for the background noise. Also, Bella is with me, so you can hear the tip-tap of her claws on the floor. So anyway, welcome to this week's stamp set of the week, Seasonal Celebrations. It is a 13 stamped image. There are no sentiments in this at all. So you've got hearts and flowers, you've got a daffodil, you've got a graduation cap with the string, you've got a bunny rabbit with his face, you've got a party hat with a little bit of a tuft to go on the top, and we've got a shamrock, stars and some confetti. So a beautiful stamp set to have in your stash for all those occasions that you need. So today we are focusing on these strips because it's a complete lined stamp, so you can do repetitive stamping with it. So this is the card that I've created, and we're going to create a happy birthday version. So as you can see, this is I love you. Now, it would have been ideal for Valentine's, however, it's perfect for anniversary. It is a quick card, and we're going to bring in the stamping tool to help us create the card. So let's bring in my supplies. I have got very simple supplies today. I have got Lost Lagoon that measured 8 inches by 5 3/4, and then I have 2 pieces of basic white which measure 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, one for the outside and one for the inside. And we're going to deal with the outside literally. So the first thing I'm going to do, hello Bella, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the happy birthday image on. Now this comes from the stamp set Layer Thoughts, and this is basically just all stamps, images, not images, sentiments. So we've got love, happy birthday, thank, and thinking. So but we've got little ones of to, of you. So love you, happy birthday to you, thinking of you, and a thank you. So we're going to use the happy birthday version. I'm going to stamp that up first of all in my Memento black ink. Stamp it onto here and then straight onto the piece of cardstock. Make sure it's straight. Always a good look to have your cardstock straight. So straight down, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then straight back up. So you've got this beautiful blocked happy birthday. Now I have stamped it again onto a piece of post-it note. I have cut it out, so I've got the happy birthday. I've cut it out because I want to do is cover up the happy birthday so that I can stamp fully over this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my stamping positioning tool. There we go. And I'm going to pop it onto there, and I'm going to hold it down with my magnets. Now these magnets are really good because they've got this little flappy bit here. So it holds it down in place, and it's just easy for you to pick up, but it's still quite strong. Let's close this black up. So the next thing I'm going to do for the birthday, I'm going to use the flowers instead of the hearts. So I'm going to position that right up the top of my card. I'm going to pick it up with my tool. So this is one, oops, so it comes with 2 plates. You've got this very large plate, and then you've got this smaller plate, which is ideal for images just like the one we've got here. So it's got 2 tiny holes, one here and one here, but it's also got like little springs. So what you can do is you can put your plate over. It doesn't touch anything. It's not until you press down that it picks up your hold the paper down. There we go. It picks up the image off your page. Okay, and then it's ready for inking. So what you simply do is turn it over. Let's move this magnet to here. And then I'm going to stamp it up with, or ink it up with my bubble bath. I'm just using 2 colours today, the bubble bath and the Lost Lagoon. So I'm just going to make sure this is all covered. There we go. And turn that round. Pop it over. And then I'm just going to push it down and let it come back up again. You can take it off and see. So I missed a bit there, so I can put that back down. Just press that edge. And there we are. We're back on again. So I want to miss the next row. I don't want it to go there. Let's put it there. But I do want it to go on the next row, which is this one. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and the first hole goes on the 3. Again, I'm going to ink that up. Now this will go over the post-it note, and it will give you, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, clip it on. There we go. And it will go either side of my post-it note. Hold it down for a couple of seconds. The only ones we're worried about are the one either side. You've got one there and one there. That seems to work. You might want to give that a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Let's add a little tiny bit more ink. There we go. And then the other end. Because obviously the bits in the middle we don't need to worry about. So let's turn that over. So that goes into there. And then we can pop it down and bring it up. Okay. So the next one would go there, but we don't need it. So it will be there. So we're going to need to move that. Just move that one up there. Turn it over again. And then we can ink it up. Now the advantage of this is if you forget where you're going to put your next one. So let's say I was going to put it there. See, it's not good. So come down one spot. It hasn't touched the paper. It's not until you push it down that ink hits the paper. And then you've got there again. Might need to give that a little bit more. Yeah, let's give that a bit more ink. Goodness knows what they're doing on the building site today. But it certainly gives you a headache. At least it's better than the when they were driving the pylons down a couple of years ago. There we go. So that's that one in place. So now what we need to do is to clean this with our chamois. Let's grab my chamois. Give it a good old clean. And then we start again with the Lost Lagoon. So that back down to there. So this time the Lost Lagoon will go on the second one. So again, we're going to pick up our Lost Lagoon ink and we will make it go over the top. There we go. So that's our Lost Lagoon. Goes on our second one. So let's just push that down. I think, yeah, that one didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Lost Lagoon and ink up the M1 again. There we go. Bring that over. And then you can just push down on that bit. And there you are. It's all in place. So obviously we don't want that one because it's the pink one. That one go there, but we don't need it because it's covered up with the post-it note. So the next one we need to do is not that one, but that one. Now what you'll notice is there's a tiny bit where it doesn't match. So I'm just going to bring it down just a touch, like so. Hold it down with my magnets, and then I can ink that bit up again. There we go, all the way down. Make sure that corner bit's done. And then we can, those two don't look as good, so let's try that. There we go. Right, now what we're going to do is bring that over so it's in place, not in there. So the next one down, make sure it is straight. I'm going to bring it down just a touch more. There we go. Hold that into place. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that down and then bring it back up again. There we go. Again, there's a tiny bit there. This is the advantage of having your stamp apparatus, that if you do misstamp, you literally just go back over and stamp it. So that goes into there, bring that down to there and back up again. Perfect. So that is literally how quickly we can use the stamp apparatus. You can take it off now, push that aside. We can take off the happy birthday post-it note. There we go. And then all we need to do is upload that to our front page of here, and gives you the very simple but effective happy birthday. So let's use the glue. There we go. Run that down the page. Pop that over. And then we've got two very quick cards. One say for anniversary and one for a happy birthday. Let's bring that one back in. There we go. So thank you ever so much for joining me for this quick and easy card. We'll be back on Wednesday with a slightly more complicated card. So do join us then. And then obviously on Friday we have our funky fold. So whatever you do for the rest of the day, stay safe and happy crafting. Take care. Bye.